Hi everyone, when it comes to budget short bows, you are most likely going to get a recommendation for either of this bow. This is an AF Turkish. It's a 46-inch tip to tip with a max draw length of just 30-inch. I know some would say the advertisement on the website, the specification on the website is 32, but sometimes you have to trust the dealer. This bow is not gonna draw past 30-inch. Okay, if you try it, your bow is gonna break very soon. Because we know, that's why you see all this wrap here, the binding. This one here is the Tatar oak, AF Tatar oak. The tip to tip length is for the 9-inch, 3-inch more than this. The max draw length is 31-inch. Website says 32, but again, you have to trust the dealer who deals with this every day. We try to draw past 31, the bow just breaks. Okay, so don't do that. Okay, 30-inch max, 31-inch max. If you need a longer draw length, get a longer bow. So normally, I would recommend laminated bows like these two. I normally do not recommend fiberglass bow because now, if you are familiar with the general characteristics of laminated and fiberglass, you will probably agree if I say this, the following, that a fiberglass bow tends to stack more. It tends to be slower, less efficient, has a higher hand shock, higher vibration. The only advantage is probably being cheaper and more durable, right? Because it doesn't delaminate. Whereas a laminated bow, generally, they tend to be smoother, they are more efficient, faster arrow speed, less hand shock, less vibration. Disadvantage is that it tends to cost more, and it also is a little bit more sensitive to arrow weight. So you have to actually care for the bow, like don't twist the bow, use the correct arrow weight so that you don't delaminate the bow. Well, there are certain, small things that you need to care for the laminate bows that fiberglass bow just can ignore. For example, fiberglass bow, you can actually go very low arrow weight and not worry, whereas laminate bows, they tend to be more picky with the arrow weight. Okay, that's just the general, general characteristics of these bows. So of course, there's always going to be exceptions. Some bows are, special in some way, just generally. Okay, generally. Okay. Now, I'm going to actually show some fiberglass bow to compare against this, and just to show you that I'm being fair, that I didn't recommend those because they are not as good. For example, this one here is a fiberglass Turkish bow. Now technically, to be fair, this bow is shorter. Oh, okay. This one here, 46-inch, this is a 42-inch. Okay, so this being a shorter bow is of course much more stacky. It also has a longer version which is 46-inch, but still it stacks more. Okay, even with the longer version of this Turkish, it stacks more than this. This, in terms of PPI, if you've been following me, you know that I use the term PPI to refer to the smoothness of the bow. The higher the number, the more stacky it is. This is 8.8. This shorter version is 11.7, very stacky relative to this. Even when it goes to the 46-inch length, I didn't measure that one, but I have another bow that's very similar. It scores a 10 PPI. So still, compared to the laminate bow, it is stacky. Okay, and then in terms of hand shock and vibration, well, this bow actually turns out to be quite well made. hand shot and vibration is actually very good, to the point where I would say it is very comparable to the laminate bow. Very comparable. It might even be better than the laminate bow. That's because with such stackiness, the energy storage is poor. So there's less energy, the arrow is going to travel slower, and so there's just less residual energy, less hand shot, less vibration. So would I recommend this? This is cheaper and it's also more durable because fiberglass, this is laminate. But I actually, if you ask me to pick between one of these, I would pick the laminate because the smoothness matters more. If a bow stacks, it's a struggle to draw to my full draw. So I do not like a bow that stacks. So I would still pick this laminate bow over this. Now let's switch to this. This is a Tatar fiberglass bow, Tatar laminate bow. So how do they compare to each other? This one scores a 9.2 ppi. This one scores a 9.5. So when it comes to smoothness, I would say these two bows are actually quite similar because 9.2 and 9.5, of course, this one is still a bit more stacky, but I would say it's quite similar. This one 49 inch, this one 46 inch, a little bit different in length. Both can reach a 31 inch draw. Again, fiberglass construction is more durable. This is more prone to breakage. In fact, I'm gonna straight out tell you, this particular model tend to have more issue around the riser. Okay, so I'm just being honest to you. Okay, so it tends to have more issue with that delamination. Of course, this one doesn't have any problem. Pricing, this is cheaper than this, but would I pick this? Absolutely not, because the hand shot of this one is pretty strong. Okay, hand shot on this one is, compared to this, much less. So both of these fiberglass bow, they kind of match the stereotypical characteristics of fiberglass bow. So I don't like them because of these characteristics that to me is unfavorable. However, in recent weeks or month, something special came, which you guys already know, the Jotoman bow. So this bow is really special, and even though I personally hated fiberglass bow, I actually love this bow a lot. I have been doing a lot of tests and looking through the bow numerous times, looking for if there's any spot, any small spot that I can further optimize. This bow is pretty much perfect already. There are very minor areas in which I got some complaint for improvement. For example, the string, the center cervix is a bit too thin, so the arrow knock is a bit loose. So I already informed the bowyer to increase the number of strands in the string so that it's a bit thicker and fit the knock better. I also received another complaint where the leather wrap gets somewhat loose. So I told the bowyer to glue it down better. So that's the only two complaints I ever got on this bow. The rest of that would be a lot of praise. How does this stack compare to the other two? Okay, if you are looking for a short bow, okay, we are talking about this one, maximum draw length 31 inch. Maximum draw length 30 inch. This one, we actually tested, it can draw to 32. But just to have some margin of error, I just promote this bow as a 31 inch max draw length. But if you draw the 31.5, no issue. So this, in terms of draw length, exceeded these two. Now in terms of size, well, you're looking for a short bow, 49 inch. This is 46. The Jotoman is the same length as the Turkish Chueyuan. They are 46 inch. So when it comes to length, actually, since you're looking for a short bow, the Jotoman does have an advantage. Being short, and it can draw longer than the two options here. When it comes to smoothness, oh my god, in terms of smoothness, this bow is incredible. I said 9.2, 8.8, 7.7. Okay, this is quite significantly smoother than the other two. Even though this is actually the shorter, same length as this one, but shorter than this one, this is the smoothest of the three. So when it comes to stereotypical characteristics of a fiberglass bow, this is a surprise. This is smoother than laminate bows of the same length, so it's quite special. In terms of speed, I'm gonna do some shooting later. This bow is fast. Even though when I did the chrono test, the speed that was recorded 181.5 on this one 187, 190. You might think, oh wow, then this is faster, this is still slower. Oh, but this is actually not the full story. So what is going on? Both of these laminate bows have a brace height of just 7 inch. This one here has an 8 inch brace height. And why I mention it is because it matters. That 1 inch of brace height difference means that for the same draw length, this bow has 1 inch less in power stroke. So it is not a very fair, even though technically yes, it is still slower, but if I account for the same power stroke, that is to make this one draw another inch more so that we have the same power stroke as the other two, the result is this bow is the same speed, 187, which is the same speed as the Tatar oak. So that means the Jotoman is not actually slower than the two other bows. It is in fact the same speed or around the same speed, because 187 on the Tatar oak, 190 on the Turkish. You know, there's a 3 FPS difference, not that much. And this one is matching 187. I would say that speed-wise is similar. However, because this bow was designed for more forgiveness, we want a higher brace height and we sacrifice a bit of power stroke, which will result in less speed for the same draw length. So technically, if I were to use a longer string so that I lower the brace height to 7 inch, this bow is comparable in speed to those laminate bows. Again, this bow did not fit into the normal stereotypical characteristics of a fiberglass bow. Fast, it's pretty fast. And when it comes to hand shot, oh, this is where it's a pain in the ass to test. I got these bows out here with the target in the background. That's because I've been doing a lot of tests. I've been shooting them back and forth, back and forth. I couldn't conclusively decide which one had the higher hand shock. All three of these bows are 35 pound at 28 inch. I shot them with the exact same arrow. I only used one single arrow, okay, so that we have the same arrow weight. And I couldn't tell which one had a higher hand shock. There are times where I feel like this bow had higher hand shock. And then there are times in which I felt that this one has higher hand shock. And then sometimes I feel like this one have higher hand shock. So going back and forth, I still couldn't decide. So that could only say one thing. The hand shock is very similar to each other. Very, very similar. It's hard to tell them apart. Sometimes just the minor difference in the technique, how tight we hold the bow, our draw length, the slight difference there can make one bow felt more than the other. They are all very close to each other. So again, in terms of hand shot vibration, I would say all three bows are near identical, it's hard to tell them apart. They all felt the same. So that pretty much says that all the benefits of the laminate bowl, you find it here. I have been actually telling my customers to, if they're looking for this bowl, consider this. Because anything you can find here, this bowl actually gives you better. And in fact, there's something else that that really makes me promote this one more. So AF has actually been increasing the price to dealers and decreasing the price on their website, which means that the margin, the profit that we are making out of these posts are squeezed very tight. If there is no warranty, okay, if it doesn't involve any warranty case, I'm actually fine with that because there's no risk, right? But the thing is, there is risk, there is warranty. These bowls, in terms of warranty, some dealers, okay, not me, some dealers are telling me the rate can be 50%, some telling me 30%. For myself, depending on how severe the damage or breakage, some of them is actually not that bad. You can kind of ignore, usable, may not look very nice, not very pretty, but usable. Some of them outright just break, you have to warranty it. I would say at least 2 out of 10, okay? 2 out of 10 bowls probably will need a warranty. Okay, so, and that is the problem, you see, because the warranty eats into our profit. In fact, not only do we not make a profit, we actually make a loss. That's why if I were to sell this bowl, I'm actually scared. I'm worried that if it breaks, I'm actually making a loss. So when I thought about that, I was like, oh, should I recommend this bowl? I'm just worried, what if the bowl breaks, I'm gonna have to actually pay for the shipping and I'm actually making a net loss. So that's why I've been a bit hesitant promoting this bowl recently, especially that when this one, I can shoot it down to as low as 7 grain per pound and I don't have to worry anything about the bowl breaking or blowing up. This is a solid fiberglass bowl. Okay, it is a solid fiberglass bowl. So even though it is performing just like a laminate bowl, but the fact is it is a fiberglass bowl. So it also has the benefit of a fiberglass bowl where it is very durable. You can just give it any lightweight arrows and just blow the target. Not worry about this bowl breaking. So when compared against the laminate bowls, I just feel like, wow, this bowl is actually better, technically it's better than the laminate bowls, and it is also more durable, less warranty headache. I'm very scared of warranty, honestly. So if I promote this bowl, customer buy it and they love the bowl because it's technically better than the laminate. Not only do they like it more, but I know that there won't be a warranty issue. Okay, the bowl is going to be fine. That's why I've actually been thinking this bowl might actually be the better bowl when it comes to short budget bowls. Pricing wise, this bowl is very similarly priced against the 2 laminate bowls. Now you might think, oh, for the same price, then it will make more sense to buy the laminate bowls. But if you don't think about it as a fiberglass versus laminate, you think only from a perspective of performance, that is to say, which bowl is smoother? This. Which bowl is faster? Probably equal, because this one prioritizes forgiveness with a higher brace height, that's why sacrificing a little bit of the speed. But when it comes to efficiency, it's actually similar because if I have to lower the brace height, we are getting similar speed. When it comes to hand shock and vibration, similar. Now, when it comes to durability, this outright blows the other two out of water. In fact, you might think, oh, but laminate is still more worth it. You see, these two budget bows are using China fiberglass. Okay, yes, they are laminate bows, but China fiberglass. And we have very strong evidence to prove that China glass is indeed not as good. They don't break. Okay, the bows didn't break, but the complaint I get, a lot of this complaint, is the China fiberglass fatigued very quickly. So after just a few months of use, like 2 months, 3 months, there will be a lot of splinter and cracks here. Okay, for this as well. So same price, and then you're gonna have to deal with a splinter not under warranty because splinter doesn't, the bow is not broken, right? It just splinter looks ugly, but it's not broken. Would you rather have that compared to a bow that is actually smoother and perform the same, more durable, and don't have this kind of issue? If you ask me, I actually will pick this bow, which is why I never actually had a AF Turkish or AF Tatar in my personal collection, but I have one of these in my own collection because I was actually quite surprised that this bow turned out to be really damn good. Even against these bows from the same maker, it's not even comparable. These two stacks like hell. This is smooth. These two aren't that fast. One of them has a bad hand shock, the other stacks like shit. This is nothing like that. It's nothing like that. So I'm not collecting this. I didn't like it. But this one, wow, this is actually really good. Which is why I put in all the effort to optimize it because I really like it, and I try my best to actually try to make this into a really, really awesome ultimate product. Just look at it. There's really not much I can do to reduce the mess any further. Just look at how slim. Look at my hand, and look at how slim this is. This is as slim as it can go. Just look at that. It's super lightweight already. I can't go any lower without sacrificing stability. And even the bridge, look at how it's constructed. It's actually hollow in here. It's hollow. So where else can I cut mass? This bow is really crazy optimized. The only thing that I told the bowyer is maybe the only thing left is to give it a bit more padding in the grip so that it's gonna reduce that slight hand shock into even slighter. That's the only thing we can do. Oh, by the way, the arrow pass is also super slim because it's a fiberglass construction. It is very, very rigid, very strong. So we can do very, very slim, something that we cannot do with the laminate bows, because if you make it too slim, the glue adhesion is going to be weakened and laminate bows is going to laminate. So with this we can. So just look at that. This is super awesome. So yeah, I looked through the whole bow for days. I can't really optimize it any further. It is probably as good as a fiberglass bow is gonna get. If you want to push very lightweight arrows, it's warranted for as low as 7 grain per pound. But if you want to use anything lighter, go ahead. Go ahead. Let me know how it turns out, because I would like to know as well. The other day, I actually asked my friend to give this bow a try. So he was shooting like 8 grain per pound. The bow is super fast, and according to him, he didn't feel any hand shock even at 8 grains per pound. So you want to use this with light arrows, go ahead, but the laminate bows, no. Laminate bows, you have to follow the grain per pound, which is 9 grain per pound for those two models. This one, do whatever you want. Also, you can actually, if you're lazy, leave it strung. It's very easy to care for. It's just that be careful when you string the bow because the limbs are quite narrow. Okay, just look at my hand. The limbs are actually very narrow. So if you have a very poor stringing technique, it's possible to twist the bow. Be careful, learn to check and fix any twist before you use it. This is just better in pretty much every way. I'm giving up a bit of speed because higher brace height, giving up a bit of speed for greater forgiveness, stability. So very, very narrow arrow pass. High brace height means that your arrow selection is a lot wider and your archer's paradox is minimized. So that's a deliberate choice. We do actually sacrifice a bit of speed, but it's overall worth it. So I'm actually gonna do some shots. Just observe the sound. I'm not sure if this kind of shooting test is gonna show you anything, but when I tested, this one here actually felt like a faster speed. Okay, so I'm gonna shoot one by one. First, we do the AF Turkish. Okay, it does stack. Okay, it does stack. That's why I'm gonna have to struggle through. It does stack. Just now there is a hand shock. It actually felt like, okay, there is some hand shock to it. So I know a lot of people who has this bow will say, oh, this bow is very smooth, has no hand shock. There is, okay, it is not smooth, it is quite stacky. There is some hand shock, and again, it's all about relative, right? Okay, this Tatar actually stacks even worse than the other one. It stacks. I couldn't pull it very well. Hand shock felt very similar. It's hard to tell. These two bows felt very similar. Sometimes I feel that has more hand shock. Sometimes I feel this has more hand shock. It's very hard to tell apart. Notice the sound and the speed of the arrow. Compare that against this. This one actually felt faster. I'm kind of drawing about the same draw length on all that. But let me now draw a longer draw. I'm going to try my best to do a longer draw. Oh, by the way, just now that shot, the Jotoman actually has less hand shock than the other two bows. So now I'm going to try holding again. I'm going to try my best to draw longer. It's fast, okay? It's fast. I keep forgetting to mention the hand shot. There is very little. Just now that shot, the hand shot is less than the other two. Because the hand shot is so minimal, that's why I just didn't think about mentioning it. Because this bow stacks the most of these three. So I'm gonna try to do a longer draw, but it's not easy. These are stacks. Hand shot is strong, man. Hand shot is stronger than the Jotoman. The speed wise, somehow it feels a bit slower. I'm not sure what you guys feel from that, but it felt kind of slightly sluggish compared to the Jotoman. The Jotoman was violent, it was fast. the hand shot on this one is very similar to Jotoman, and I think the speed was okay. So we're gonna try again. Start with the treasure. Try my best to draw longer because this bowl is not as smooth. This one is staggy. Oh, the hand shot is rather high. So you see, it really depends on every shot. Sometimes the hand shot feels high. This shot, the hand shot was rather high. Arrow, okay speed. I kind of just yank it. Oh, just now the hand shot is low. Speed wise, I think it's just okay. Doesn't feel particularly fast. Hand shot is consistently low. It wasn't higher or any lower. Whereas the treasure, I sometimes had it good, sometimes had it heavy. Tatar, same thing, sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's heavy. The hand shot on this one is quite consistent. It's about the same as the other two. I don't feel one is like super more than the other. It's very similar. But the speed, every time, this one actually felt fast. Even from the sound, when I shoot, it feels fast. The bow does not feel sluggish. The moment you release the thing just throws. It goes really fast, no delay. So I somehow, I don't have a chrono right now, but if you were to ask me to guess, I might say this is actually the faster among these three bows. If you were to ask me which bow to pick between these three bows, given the same approximate pricing, definitely this, every time.